Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I come to an interesting place. It is called Puyuan Fashion Ancient Town. That small gate in front of us is the entrance. But don't be fooled by its size. You will see that the interior spaces are actually quite spacious and tall. This is the interior. You can see it's luxurious and really spacious with high ceilings. But these are all carefully contained within that small humble gate. It totally shows off the classic Jiangnan architectural style and its design philosophy. I think it is interesting because of its name. It's called Fashionable Ancient Town. Most of its main attractions are actually newly built. Many of them only completed in 2023. For example, one of the most famous attractions here is Hongfu Temple. In a moment, we'll go and see it. It's actually brand new, but its design and construction are really impressive and full of character. It can easily stand side by side with many famous Asian buildings. Here is a place where you can get some jiaozi. With your entrance ticket, you'll get 50 jiaozi. Jiaozi is a paper money invented during the Song Dynasty over 1,000 years ago. That's right, China was the first country in the world to use paper money. You can use these jiaozi inside the park to buy some services and small things. Unfortunately, I came in the morning, so none of the places that accept jiaozi were open yet. So here is my suggestion. If you are planning to visit, it's best to come in the afternoon. On both sides of the street, you will see Song Dynasty-style restaurants and wine houses. If you come in the evening, these places will be open, so you will get to see a lot more interesting scenes and a lively atmosphere. Over on the left, you can see a store selling tofu. If you come in the evening, you might be able to use your jiaozi to buy douhua. It's a dish where soft tofu is placed in porridge, and the tofu breaks apart into beautiful flower petal shapes. Look at this. It's a Song Dynasty wanted poster. The design is really creative. Now we are heading to Fushan Temple. Fushan Temple was originally built in the Song Dynasty. Unfortunately, the original temple was burned down during the Taiping Rebellion in the late Qing Dynasty. By the way, this fashionable Asian town has plenty of hotels and guest houses. Plus, it's not far from Shanghai, only about 90 kilometers away. You can get here in just 1 hour by highway. That is Fushan Temple. This is Foshan Temple. Its architectural style is from Tang and Song dynasty of China. You might think it looks a lot like the temples in Kyoto. That's because the temples in Kyoto were actually modeled after Tang and Song dynasty architecture, while adding their own characteristics. In China, because we had far more wars and disasters than Japan, most of the original towns and Song buildings were destroyed. Only a few have survived in remote areas. The original Fushan temple was burned down in the late 19th century. This new temple is rebuilt on its original site and is constructed entirely with real wood. Fushan Temple uses a high-grade form of traditional Chinese architecture, the double-eave gabled roof. Double eave means there are two layers of eaves, one above the other, which makes the building look taller, grander, and more impressive. A gabled roof has a sloping top, with triangular vertical surfaces on the sides and four corners gently curve upward. This is a high-ranking roof style in ancient China. It's much more solemn and elegant than ordinary roofs. Fushan Temple worships the five directional Buddhas. This comes from esoteric Buddhist thought and represents the five directions of the universe: center, east, south, west, and north. Each one symbolizes a perfect kind of wisdom. The central Buddha represents bright light shining everywhere. The Eastern Buddha represents eliminating anger and hatred with a steady and unshakable mind. The Southern Buddha represents increasing blessings and virtue, removing arrogance. The Western Buddha represents guiding beings to the Pure Land, eliminating greed and desire. The Northern Buddha represents accomplishing all endeavors, removing jealousy, and being completely free from obstacles. This is Puyuan Taoist Temple. It's one of the three great Taoist temples in the Jiangnan region. The Xiangyun Temple was first built in the Yuan Dynasty in 1309, then largely rebuilt in 1776 during the Qing Dynasty. Sadly, it was burned down in 1860 during the Taiping Rebellion, and only the main gate survived. This is a traditional stage for Chinese opera. So you might be wondering, why is there an opera stage inside the temple? Well, it is because of Taoism's goal. Taoism is China's native religion. Its goal is quite different from other religions. Like Buddhism believes that people are trapped in the circle of birth and death. So Buddhism is to try to help people break free from this circle. But Taoism aims for immortality, to live forever and become an immortal. So simply put, Buddhism wants to transcend life and death, while Taoism wants eternal life without dying. This gate is only one part of the Xiangyun Temple that survived the wars back in the Qing Dynasty. Taoism and Buddhism have different gods and spirits. In Buddhism, the divine beings are Buddhas, who are above the human world. But in Taoism, most gods started out as regular people. This is the residence of the three brothers in Puyuan, who were descendants of Yue Fei. All of the three brothers passed the imperial examinations and became Jingshi, which is the highest academic degree in the exam. They went on to become senior officials in the imperial court, and their story has become a much-told legend here in Puyuan. Yue Fei himself was one of China's greatest historical heroes. He fought bravely against foreign invasions to defend the Song dynasty. Sadly, he was betrayed and wrongly put to death. As a result, Yue Fei is remembered as the perfect example of loyalty and patriotism. This is the building of Puyuan Chamber of Commerce. This modest gate embodies the same cultural spirit as the earlier one: humility, restraint, and understatement. These are the virtues deeply cherished in traditional Chinese culture. Therefore, although the merchants of Puyuan were extremely wealthy, the Chamber of the Commerce building remains simple and unadorned, which is precisely the influence of the traditional Chinese cultural values. This basement used to be the underground silver vault for the old Chamber of Commerce. The designer really went all out with creativity. They completely reimagined this underground vault in a super modern way. This is a weaving loom. Puyuan County has been famous across China for its textiles since ancient times. Even today, Zhejiang province remains China's largest textile production base. Abacus is also one of China's greatest inventions that helped people quickly crunch huge numbers and handle massive accounts. To the right of the Chamber of Commerce stands a small Guandi temple dedicated to Guanyu. It is actually a branch of the main Guandi temple located in another place. Guanyu worship is the most important part of the folk belief in China. Its core values are loyalty and trust, which is much needed in doing business. And since this small Guandi temple was built for the Chamber of Commerce, its main purpose also includes blessing wealth and prosperity. The god of wealth is a central part of a folk belief. In total, there are 4 gods of wealth, each corresponding to a direction. Guanyu is the god of wealth of the west. Bigan is the god of wealth of the east, who is a loyal minister, wrongfully put to death. The god of wealth of the south is Chairong. He is a founding emperor. And Zhao Gongming is the god of wealth of the north, who is a fictional immortal figure in Taoism. This is a Republic of China style street. In the distance, you will see a church. The Republican era and churches, both indispensable parts of modern China. So this design perfectly shows the fashionable side of this trendy Asian town. This historic mansion once belonged to the man who actually gave the town its name. The very first owner was Pu Feng. He was a high-ranking official serving the Southern Song Emperor. When the Southern Song dynasty was defeated by invaders, he fled south from the north and eventually settled right here. That's how Puyuan Town originally began. Many generations later, one of his ninth generation descendants, Pu Jian, became a highly successful merchant and respected local leader. He turned Puyuan Town into one of the most important silk trading centers in the entire Jiangnan region. He also built two beautiful temples, the Fushan Temple and the Xiangyun Taoist Temple. Now, traditional Jiangnan architecture like this has quite different philosophy from those in the north of China. They value modesty and discretion. From the outside, they look quite restrained and understated, nothing flashy or showy. But once you step inside, the spaces are surprisingly tall, spacious, and open. The idea is to keep all that grandeur hidden behind a humble exterior. So it's a beautiful contrast, quiet on the outside, rich and generous on the inside. This is the Guandi Temple, dedicated to Lord Guan, the legendary General Guan Yu. You can see a statue of his famous war horse, the mighty red hare, along with his iconic weapon, the green dragon crescent blade. Belief in Lord Guan is one of the most important parts of traditional Chinese folk religion. Because of that, the Guandi Temple is just as grand and impressive as any Taoist or Buddhist temple. China's belief system is mainly made up of three parts: Buddhism, Taoism, and folk religion. Among them, Buddhism and folk beliefs are the two most influential pillars. Buddhism focuses on escaping the troubles of this world and transcending life and death. On the other hand, folk beliefs center around building harmonious social relationships, emphasizing values like benevolence, righteousness, loyalty, and trust. That's exactly why these two have become the strongest pillars of Chinese spiritual life. One of the most interesting things about the statue of Guan Yu is this. Even though he was a powerful military general, he's always shown holding a book. He never lets it go. This detail beautifully reflects one of the deepest values in Chinese thought. Chinese people have always believed that force and violence are never the ultimate solution. In the end, it's culture, wisdom, and the moral principles that truly matter. That's why you see these powerful warriors constantly reading. It's a powerful reminder that brains and virtue should always come before brute strength.
这个饭，哎，